hyena, if it wanted to, could smash. Fascinating to watch. Look at that. Wow, that's one of the youngest cubs I've ever seen. Can't be much older than a couple of weeks, I would say. How soft she's being. She's just nuzzling it. Oh, look at that. Wow. Now, Hayley, you're wondering if the mom's grabbing its head because it's being naughty. I think she's just bonding with the little youngster. Look at that. She's just nuzzling it and licking it and just enjoying each other, I think. A little bit of motherly love. She's been very gentle, almost quite playful. Star Wars Ewok. Well, I'm not too well clued up with Star Wars, so I wouldn't know, but I'll agree with you. I'm sure lots of other people would too. For me, it's just absolutely enthralling to sit here with this, and that they're allowing us just to enjoy with them. They can hear us, and that's how close we are. She's quite relaxed on them. She's probably here quite regularly, so that also habituates them to the vehicle, much as they do in the Sabi sands with the leopard. It's important to have vehicles around the adults, because then they allow you to be around the youngsters, and the youngsters then get used to the vehicles. So it's a whole system of getting them habituated. Now, Dale, you're wondering how old until they turn lighter. It will be a couple of months, about two to 3 months. It grows and start to get its little spots, and normally at about years old, they do look like little adults. And I wonder now if she's sent this little one back into its room. Go and be quiet a little bit. So, folks, I think that has been an absolutely fascinating little encounter with this mommy and her cub. I've now found the den. I think there's going to be lots more of this, because I'm going to be coming back here. And, sorry, but Archie, just go over there. Look at this. She's moving it. I wonder where she'll be moving it to. Look at that, the little one not so happy to be moved, but Mommy won't have any. And you know how dogs and some of the cats and the hyena, when they pick the little cub or the pup up by the head like that, you see how they go limp? They go very still. That's perfect for them to be able to carry them like that. And if you grab a little puppy or a cub by the neck, you often see them go into that instinctive mode, very relaxed. Sometimes it almost seems like she's throwing it around, but she's being very careful, and that youngster's quite tough. There, yes, look at that. Now, Sean, you're wondering if she's moving the den. No, she's not moving the den. There's actually a lot of holes around this area, so it's almost like it could have been a porcupine warren. 25 individuals in this clan. There must be quite a few entrances and exits all over the place. Perfect for them to be able to house quite a number of different individuals, but also elaborate enough that they all have their own space. A very political environment with hyena, so nobody's got to be stepping out of line. Look at that, being carried again. Mommy just moving it off a little bit, maybe to another hole in the ground. Wow, who would have imagined that this was what we were going to see today? Absolutely stunning. Now, Miranda, you're commenting that that's an absolutely magnificent shot. Well, I agree with you. And we have the very talented Archie in the back there, making sure we get this shot for you, bringing it to you absolutely live. This is happening right now, folks. With females obviously moving this cub off a little bit. Now, Tina, you're wondering if we're safe being this close? Absolutely. And she's moved off a little bit now, but she was even very comfortable with us in her presence here. And it won't be long and we're going to move off, just in case there is any kind of fear. There's probably, within 30 meters of us, there's probably the same amount of hyenas. So, folks, I'd like to say thank you for everybody for coming on to watch this absolutely stunning and amazing scene that folded out here. We'd like to welcome you back anytime on Safari Live. Keep watching, because I'm going to be coming back for lots more of what we just witnessed. Okay, thanks for your patience, everyone. I think we're gonna leave this mommy in peace, and we've also got quite a distance for us to get back up towards the escarpment, but we've definitely accomplished what we wanted to today, and that is having found the hyena den. So we've had an awesome experience. I think we're going to not overstay our welcome. We're going to head on out, and I tell you what, I'm going to be back tomorrow. Can't wait. Cannot wait. And we are going to have some amazing encounters in this little area here. I want to see what the hyenas get up to, where they go, what they do, what they hunt. It's enthralling for me. I love hyenas. There's a lot more holes on this side. Issues that need to be dealt with very quickly behind the scenes. The tech guys are going to do it as quickly as possible, but in the meantime, let's head you up to the mountain camp and we'll be back shortly.
Back, everybody. Sorry about that. The gremlins are very mean this afternoon, but hopefully this will do the trick so we don't get any more interrupted spots. Manu and I have had no luck with the animals. However, we have prepared a short skit for you. Are you ready? Okay, we're done now. That is just... thank you so much. I'm just live at the moment. I'll talk to you in a minute. Sorry, I'm being tailed. We have been spotted and everybody is driving after us, and now we've got some fans who want to take pictures of us in the car. But I hope you liked our Jurassic Park skit very much. Shall we pose? Should I turn and pose for them? Shall we do this live? I'm going to pose live. How's my hair, Manu? Fine. Is it fine? We've decided we're going to pose live for you. How would you like us to pose? Would you like us to do a little dance? Just like this, my hands. I've got my jazz hands out.
Let's do the jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Are you guys really filming for Nat
You can say hello, I'm watching Safari Live.
Hello, I'm watching Safari Live.
There we go. So you, not quite, you can wave quickly. There we go. I'm going to have to carry on, unfortunately. But you can go and find us. Actually, hang on. I'm going to stay here and chat to you all. Right. Okay, everybody. I'm going to stay and do the Safari Live talk. And I'm hopefully going to convince these lovely people in this car to carry on watching the show. So we might have some new fans joining us. However, I'm going to send you back down to sunny South Africa. Like I said earlier, there's lots of leopards by the sounds of it, and I wonder what Chitwa is going to get up to next.
Welcome back, everybody. So Tingana is still lying in the shade, but he's positioned himself so he can keep staring at Chitwa, and Chitwa is still lying in her tree, and she has kept her position where she's still staring at Tingana. Now, I've got Herbie next to me with his guests, and as many of you know, Herbie is one of the guides that we use to do walks with. He does the safety perimeter so that the rest of us can present. It's very difficult to present whilst carrying a rifle and having your earpiece and so Herbie is our extra little pair of hands. And Herb and I were just discussing when Chitwa was standing in the tree that we think she's pregnant, and we were just I'm talking about it. Where Herbie was parked, Herbie could actually see from his angle, it wasn't as shady, he could actually see her teats. So we are going to say 100% Chitwa is pregnant. That is definitely for sure. And with the help of all of you, we are saying that within the next week we think she's going to drop. And I said to Herbie just now, she mustn't stay on that little Gowrie side. She must come over to our side, and she can have her babies over here. So we have Tondi farther up north in our property with her. Richard, you're curious to know if the reason why Chitwa is up the tree is for the safety of her cubs. So, Richard, she doesn't have cubs yet. She's still pregnant. And it is possible that she's up the tree because she feels more comfortable away from Tingana there because she's pregnant. But trust me, if Tingana wanted to do anything to her, that tree is not going to stop him from being able to do it. She's just showing her displeasure at him being too close by going up and getting to the tippy top and then saying that she's had enough. She needs him to stay away, and so he did. He respected her, and he came back down and over to his spot and is giving her a bit of space and watching her from a little bit of a distance. And that is my take on the whole scenario. She doesn't want him any closer than that. Now, if she were to have tiny little cubs somewhere nearby, she also doesn't want him around those tiny little cubs either. Ooh, my friend Scotty D still searching for Tondi and her little cub. So let's go back to him because I think he has something that either a lion or leopard would like to eat, and that is also just a nice to view.
We certainly do have a wonderful view of these very tasty kudu, and I'm hoping that they're going to take a drink. But you notice they're looking at something, and you're going to be in for a treat shortly, because take a look at what they're looking at. It's a warthog with a few tiny little piglets, and I'm afraid to say that it appears that one has been eaten. Yesterday we saw these warthogs and there were 4, and now sadly there's only 3 of these cute little things. So I wonder what managed to get one. This is an area that Shadow, a female leopard, tends to spend a lot of time, so maybe she got lucky enough to snack on one. Interesting, unlike their mom, they're not interested in having a drink. And that's probably because they're getting enough liquid from the milk that she will still be providing them. They're having a mixed diet at the moment, both milk and vegetation that they're nibbling on. Let's take a look at the piglets again. It looks like they're charging up towards these kudu. They're very curious and inquisitive. What an awesome scene. And it's not the first little bit of cuteness you've had this afternoon. It sounds like you had a wonderful, wonderful sighting with Ralph and that tiny hyena. And I must also say well done to Noel for finding not only Tingana but also Chitwa. So incredible stuff unfolding this afternoon. You can see a red-billed oddpecker catching a ride there on the mummy pig. She seems to have flared up her little mane to make herself look big and proud, I guess maybe because some kudu were approaching her. There's so much stuff happening here, so let's go back to the kudu who are now drinking, because we seldom get such good views of them. What an awesome scene. There's a young boy, probably just about a year of age, maybe a little bit more. He's going to hopefully turn into a brute of an antelope with spiraled horns, much like a corkscrew. I haven't seen any big kudu since I've been back, actually. Not one, I don't think. Behind us. Quickly, Senzo. Take a look at this, everyone. Can you believe what's just come running onto the scene? A leopard, and he's after these piglets. Has he got one? We're going to need to move quickly. I don't think he has. The kudu have just disappeared. Hold tight, everyone. We still got everyone. I'm not sure it's a male leopard. That much I can tell you, but who? I'm not sure. Shame there's still a piglet here. Where's the leopard? The leopard straight in front of us. Going on towards 11 o'clock. Now, maybe he was the one who managed to... Yeah, it is a male. Maybe he is the individual who managed to catch one of those poor piglet siblings. Whew. I don't know what got my attention, but I just looked behind me and I just saw this huge male leopard running at full tilt. What routes are we going to take? We should be able to make it through here. There's just one or two stumps. Can hear a tree squirrel alarm calling now. Now I don't want to lose this leopard. This is such a good opportunity for us to stay with him. He's still definitely working this herd of piglets, this sounder of warthogs. And he's just alongside us now. I'm just going to find a good spot for us to stop. Now, it seems like the piglets did scatter in all directions, so he still does have a chance of actually catching one. Oh, how incredible is this? And you can still see he's very, very intent. How cool is this? You see, he's trying to pick up the scent of them now. Isn't it incredible how they can not only use their eyes and their ears, but also their noses to help detect prey? Look at this. On the trail now. It looks to me like a fairly young leopard. Who knows, maybe Tamba, maybe Hosana. I certainly... just sitting quietly and patiently at that waterhole, and all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. Yeah, it should be fine, Nikki. We're thinking about doing an action broadcast. I was just letting Nikki know that I do think we should. Of the afternoon, it's been non-stop jam-packed action of varying kind of genres, you could say. No hunting, but some cuteness with the hyena, some interesting stuff unfolding with Tingana and Kushchava, and now this young male leopard who is searching for a meal. Now, I'm guessing this mother piglet is long gone, but he seems to think he's still on their trail, and he could well be. I really wonder if it was him that managed to catch one of the other piglets. I just need to call on the Gain Drive radio quickly what's going on. Station's located a young Madora Ingwe. He's just south of Treehouse Dam now. Mobile south and west, Lanzering some Bonchies. Okay, I just needed to let everyone know, because of course we need to share these magical scenes and sightings in the hope that the same thing happen when other guides find interesting stuff unfolding just like this. Surprisingly, there's so much going on this afternoon that actually nobody's got back to me. Quarantine, another beautiful big male leopard's been found off to our east, and obviously Noel's got Tingana and Kuchava, and now we've got this young male, and I'm surprised none of you have let us know who he is yet. I guess we haven't had the best views, but some of you guys are absolute wizards when it comes to IDing these animals. I'm surprised how close he got to them, but we'll continue discussing that a little bit later. We are ready to welcome on the extra folks on the action broadcast. I'm just going to have to keep quiet for a second or two. Hello everyone and welcome to this action broadcast. We are coming to you live from South Africa in the Sabi sands, and we are on the trail of a young male leopard. I'm not too sure exactly how old he is, but I can tell he's a bit young, and he's desperately trying to seek out a family of warthog. We were sitting patiently at a waterhole actually watching the warthog drink, and then also all of a sudden all hell broke loose and this young male leopard came charging in and got very close to catching one of these tiny little piglets, and now he's trying to follow their scent trail. He's just up ahead of us. Let me stop here to give you a quick view of him. There he goes. Absolutely beautiful. Ooh, incredible. I think he's managed to find, and I thought he was poking his head into a hole. I thought for a second he'd managed to find a burrow that they may have tried to disappear down to escape him, but he's continued on, so I guess I must have been wrong. Whew. There's usually quite a lot of impala in this area, and who knows what other prey he could possibly stumble upon. Now, when following animals through thick vegetation like this, we try and kind of keep our distance but keep an eye on them so as to not impact or interfere in their plans. Now, Lee, I'm not too sure which leopard this is. We've only had a few quick glimpses of him. I'm guessing not Tingana, suggest that it could well be Hosana from the views that you've got. We also did see an unknown male leopard, also fairly young, in this area about a couple of weeks ago, so maybe it's him. Let's hope I haven't lost him. I've had to take quite a wide berth, but I can hear birds alarm calling, so he must be nearby. I can hear a whole bunch of birds that will be mobbing him. We got him again, not to worry. Ooh. One or two bumps here, and the joy of being on a live safari is you are here for every bump along the way. There's nothing scripted or edited or planned. We just have to roll with the punches, and when the going is good, it's good, and sometimes when it's tricky like now, you are here for every step of the way. Okay, just going to go around again. Now that I've got a visual of him, I think we'll be able to get another pathway to loop ahead. Phew. Hello Jean, who's watching all the way from Vancouver Island, and it's wonderful to have you with us. If any of you are joining for the first time, I must reiterate that this is of course live, and if you'd like to ask us any questions or if you've got any comments, please pop them in the comment box below. We would love to hear from you and interact with you. Sorry, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get you a visual of him soon, but he is highly mobile. Okay, let's stop here. We should get some good views. He's going to come straight past us here. You can still see he's holding his head quite low to the ground, so he could well still be following the scent trail of these warthogs. Isn't this beautiful? Hello, boy. Not having much luck, are you? He's got a distinctive little notch off the top of his left ear, so that's going to be a good characteristic. A little notch that I noticed missing there, so I'm not sure if that helps any of you IDing him. What an incredible scene. I'm only just getting my heart rate down to a kind of fairly decent level now after the excitement of him coming storming onto the scene. As close as he did to the warthog, he was very lucky because he came running in from a very long way. when it comes to his hunting, it seems. All right. Now, because we can't stay too close with them, you guys are just going to have to be patient. I am doing my best to stay with them, and I'm sure we will get some more views, but it may take a minute or two before we get into our next spot. Lee, you wondering how big is he in terms of kind of weight? A young male like this, I would guess to be around, 70 or 80 kilograms. A big male would be somewhere around 100 kilograms. As a rough guesstimate, but we are only ever guessing. These animals never really get tranquilized and actually weighed, so it's always just kind of a bit of a thumbsuck. It's hard to be certain. Hoping he's going to pop out somewhere here shortly. There was a bit of a thick area that we couldn't follow him through. But it opens up quite nicely here. So if he did continue on the same trajectory that he was moving on, I'm sure we should get a view of him any second now. Maybe he's up on a termite mound up ahead, a good vantage point for him to scan for any other prey. Oop. He's behind it. Okay, well done, Sens. He's just slunk behind the termite mound, so I'm going to shortly stop and get you another good view. Here we go. He is looking very, very intent, and you can see his belly is empty. Who knows when he had his last meal, but he could definitely do with another one. And I can't believe it, but I'm confident that he's still following their scent trail. You noticed how his head and nose are to the ground, and I've actually very seldomly seen a leopard hunt like this, using the scent of their prey to keep trying to follow them. But he's clever, because he knows that warthog lives in burrows. Have been noticed sometimes in excess of 48 hours waiting on top of the termite mound, in the knowledge that at some point they're going to have to come charging out. Now, there is a termite mound just ahead of us. Who knows? Maybe that is where the warthogs fled to, and maybe that's where he's going to end up camping out. Okay, well, Mike, you with us all the way in the Dominican Republic, and I'm glad that you approve and say that this is some incredible footage that we are sharing with you. It certainly is. And they got a good old whipping there. Just need to update all the regular game drive vehicles and just tell them where we are now, because it's going to be very difficult for them to get to us. Stations and updates on this young Madoda Ingwe. He is mobile south and west from Treehouse down in the block. It's going to be very tricky for anyone to get to him. I'll update you when he's back on the road. Sorry everyone, it's just very important that we do share information with the other vehicles that are moving in this area, because we all like to share sightings with one another. And we've actually got no idea where we are now. I'm a bit discombobulated. But he seems to be possibly calming down a little bit. Is he still following their scent? It seems like it is. Let's keep catching up with him. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. A beautiful, beautiful leopard on the move in the sunshine like this. What a treat. Lee, you'd like to know how close are we to one of our other guides who's currently with two leopard, a male and a female. We're not very close to them, Noel, probably about a mile and a bit, I would say, directly to the west.
Well,
way here, so you may see another vehicle shortly. Now the leopard's trotting again, which seems to make me think that he's detected something. Maybe it's the warthogs he's caught up to, I'm not too sure. Let's see if we can get back into a better spot here. Ooh, this is going to be tricky. It's thick here, so I'm going to have to, I know this area quite well, and we're going to have to try and plan our attack here. Hello Subham, you'd like to know if they will ever attack humans if they get hungry. Well, there have been very, very few cases of leopards attacking and eating humans here in Africa. It does happen from time to time. Here he comes. But it's certainly not the norm, and I haven't heard of any leopards in the specific area that we're in ever doing that. It's usually in areas where animals get forced out of natural habitats, where they have to live alongside humans, where they may become very, very desperate. Over here we're very, very fortunate in that these animals become used to our presence. They don't see us as food, they don't see us as a threat, they merely see us as spectators into their lives. So as long as we respect them and give them their distance, they can hiss and growl and snarl at us if we're getting too close, and then we just back up. And of course, if they've ever got cubs, they're also a little bit more nervous of us and cautious, not nervous of us, but just, you know, the maternal instinct kicks in, and they like to try to obviously make sure that their youngsters are not under threat. So those are a few examples of where leopards may get irritable with us, but as a general rule, they do not see us as a food source. Yes, Robin, he is certainly beautiful, and just like you, I also do love watching them hunt. It's one of the most exciting things, and it's important to remember that, you know, the big cats of Africa sleep for 18 to 20 hours every day, so the fact that we have got this little window of 4 to 6 hours that they move during broad daylight is further kind of testament to how fortunate we are at the moment. Better these wild animals' senses are than ours, not just their sight. And as he starts to move through this thicker vegetation, you get a good idea of how well that camouflage works when he just dissolves into the thickets. Well, it seems like the Warthog have done a good job dodging him. I can't remember if I mentioned to you guys since you joined that we've been following this family of Warthog quite closely. The mother's very relaxed with us, so we've been having some wonderful views of what were 4 piglets, and we saw 4 of them together yesterday, but only 3 today. So who knows, maybe this leopard or another one has already managed to catch one of their siblings, which is of course a little bit sad, but it is a reality out here. The carnivores need to eat, and sadly at the moment, you know, there's a lot of youngsters around. Well, not sadly, but it's, you know, sadly for the youngsters, sadly for their mothers, but obviously it's a great bonus and time for the leopards to cash in on some easy meals. Having so many youngsters around that are born in correlation with the bountiful summer. It is the greenest. Thanks, Senzo. I'm teamed up with Senzo on camera today, so he's just helping me keep track of views as he hopefully slinks towards us now. Now, if any of you are unaware of what we do, this is a part of a twice daily live safari that we've invited you onto. We do 2 3-hour broadcasts, sometimes more, every single day, with a couple of vehicles here in South Africa where we are, and another few vehicles and guides up in the Masai Mara in Kenya. So be sure to stay tuned to the notifications if you would like to be informed of any more interesting and exciting incredible sighting with some hyena cubs, and also just anything of interest. We like to invite live, and you'll find us without too much trouble. So big thanks for joining. That was very, very exciting. I hope everyone's still in one piece after all that bundu bashing, and it was great to have you guys on board. We will see you all next time. You stick with us through thick and thin. Thank you. And whew, what an exciting scene. I wonder how close he got to that warthog. Senzo did really well on camera because we got totally ambushed. Now, has anybody confirmed who this leopard is yet? Because I've had a few possible guesses, but no actual confirmation. I don't have a clue, so... But it seems like a lot of you are guessing that it is Hosana. So, for now, we will take it that it's Hosana. Where has he gone now? I'm told he used to love spending a lot of time in this area. I'm just giving a thumbs up to Herbie, who's guiding some guests at the moment. And he's had a great afternoon. He was at Tingana and Kuchava a little bit earlier. Now he's with this young male. So his guests are going to be loving him. Okay guys, well, Herbie's giving me some let's just wait for this. He's just kind of behind the termite mound. You can see him moving there. And let's see if we don't get super lucky, and if he comes up onto this termite mound, we are going to be in pole position. Sorry, so let me just roll a bit forward. There we go. Hey boy, you've been a very busy lad this afternoon. You can still see he's trying desperately to smell. And I guess he knows if he finds where they bunkered down, like I said a bit earlier, out. He's kind of going around in circles. His front end, whilst when he works out where next he's going to go, we will call you back immediately. But for now, we are going to be sending you all the way back up to the Masai Mara with Ralph.
Amazingly exciting down there in South Africa as well. I can't tell you, I can't contain myself after that little baby hyena that we encountered with Mum. And so we're up on the escarpment, and this is a lovely scene up here as well. A little bit of riverine thicket, and we can hear a lot of the birds calling. At the moment we have the red-chested cuckoo doing the pitmevrou, and we've got some zebra moving here through the thickets. And wow, I can't tell you, it's just been an absolutely fantastic day. We started with those buffalo early this morning, a little bit of a run around. We had some issues behind the scenes with mechanics and so on, but wow, it's landed up being such a nice day. And ending like that, I think for me, I feel really good, and it's been a wonderful day. So down in the little dam there, we also have a couple of hippo that we've been listening to, and from here we're going to slowly start making our way up towards camp, but a few of the clouds building. So thank you everyone for joining us when we do it all over again. Goodbye.
Welcome back everyone. you can see a few little spots hidden in the undergrowth. He's just stopped there planning his next move. I wonder what it's going to be. But either way, I'm very, very happy and hugely, hugely grateful that we are spending our afternoon like this. It really doesn't get much better. We are quite close to our southern boundary. That is my only fear and concern, that he may slink off. If he heads south, it'll take him 30 seconds from where we are to head into an area where we cannot follow him. So let's cross fingers that he heads either north or east. Would be first prize for me. Let's see if we can't get in front of him again. He seems to be kind of slowing down a bit, so I don't blame him. He's moved quite a big distance in a short space of time, up and down, backwards, forwards. He's just stopped in his tracks there. Has he spotted something ahead of him? I don't think so. Now let's try and get you another quick view. I'm told Taylor has just, Noel has just arrived at the Chitwa waterhole and would like you to come across there. But I think we are going to get some great views of him coming straight towards us here, and then we can... There we go. Well, ideally he continues towards us in this perfect afternoon light. Look at this. I wonder if he still has their sense. I mean, he could well. It's quite thick around us. I'm looking. I can't see anything. But you can see he is very, very composed. What can you hear in there? They are such cool animals. Chitwa asking whether I think he's lost dogs. I mean, I'm inclined to say yes, but the fact that he keeps sniffing the ground the way he does gives me a little bit of kind of apprehension to be certain that that is the case. You see what he's doing now? Is he smelling the scents of them, or is it something else he's smelling? But as soon as he left the kind of, well, as soon as he continued to try and follow these animals as they bombshelled off in all directions, he was definitely smelling the ground. He had his nose right down to the ground, and he was following their trail initially. Whether he's managed to follow it all this way, I can't be certain. What I can tell you, though, is that we are about to get some epic views. Perfect sunshine, straight towards. What is going to be your next move? Are you going to go to your right or to your left? We would prefer if you went to your left and came out into another little gap for us. I think he will, because it was a little bit thick to his right. Oh, they are such epic animals. Can you believe this? He's going to stroll just a few meters past our vehicle. Thank you, Eleanor, for confirming that it's Hosana, and isn't it fascinating how relaxed these animals are with us just a few meters from the vehicle. And that really is testament to good guiding and good ethics and good practice of habituating these animals from when they're young. And that means that we get these magical moments once they've grown up, and we get to have the privilege of gaining a lot of insight into their lives. Okay, magic. Well, we're going to have to loop ahead of this youngster again, and while we do that, it'll be a good time to send you across to Noel. I wonder what's happening at the waterhole.
3 leopards in one drive, and Hosana we haven't seen in a while, and he was hunting. That's absolutely fantastic. It's been a leopard afternoon. Now we're sitting here at Chitwa Dam. We have left Tingana to a rest. Kachava came out of the tree while Tingana wasn't looking and went into the drainage line, so we didn't see her anymore. And also there were some other guides who had their guests who wanted to come in, so we left, and maybe a little bit later in the show we might get lucky and get to see them again. We'll have to wait and see. It is a stunning stunningly gorgeous afternoon at Chitwa Dam. Our little hippo friends that we had yesterday afternoon. Oh my goodness, Ferg, the impala are jumping over this wall. Sorry everybody, this is too cool. Of course, as I pointed out, they stop. But there's this whole herd of impala that's come walking down, and some of them were taking big leaps off the side of the dam wall here. Let's just see if they'll do it again. Remember, impala do something called allolumetic behavior, which means copycat behavior. Now the first 3 or 4 jumped, and then this mother came with the little one. Maybe she's decided that her little one can't jump off. Yeah. Oh well. They're still beautiful in this gorgeous light. We might get a few more leaps and bounds. Here she goes. There they go. How beautiful. And as always, expert camera work by Ferg. Our little rank of impala, and they're heading up to join some more that are just behind us. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, because those ones ran and survived, the other ones are going to do the same thing. We've got a few more that are making their way down. Let's just have a look and see what these ones do. This little female, those are not all of her babies. She's probably one of the females that was busy with the creche, with the nursery. They do that to give each other time to feed. And so one of them is probably hers, and the other 2 are with females who have probably already run off. Shame. Bad mommies. I never get tired of impala. They're always pretty, especially in light like this. Now she's deciding, is she going to follow the main herd that followed down or the other 3? Jason, I'm glad you're agreeing with me that you also love impala. They're just such stunning creatures. I also like that the little ones are exact replicas of the adults, unlike the wildebeest where they look very different from the older ones. And she's going to take her time, and she's going to follow the same path as the main part of the herd rather than jumping off the wall there. Getting some nice screenshots here, everybody. And now I'm hoping when she comes down, the hippo will be in the background doing something nice. Dizzy Beth, you're saying their legs look really fragile. They are. They're very thin legs, but it works for them. They can jump over 2 meters high and over 10 meters wide. So they do pretty well. I have seen 1 or 2 smaller impala with a broken leg every now and then. But in general, their bodies hold up quite well in the conditions and with the leaps and bounds that they need to make. Very nice. And notice they don't go too far away from the female that's with them, even though she's not necessarily their mum. And they can see the other ones. They're gonna wait a little bit and just check that wherever they're running off to is safe. And then she's split off a little bit, so her youngster that's hers has gone with her. All right, now Scott has Hosana again, so before he crosses over a boundary, let's head back to him and get a few more views.
Well, thankfully for now, he's not heading any closer to our southern boundary, but he's literally just come in a westerly direction, turned around and headed straight back east. So he's keeping us guessing, and that's why we don't have the view we were hoping to have of him for you by the time you rejoined us. He walked past this tree earlier and kind of looked up it, and I was hoping he was going to hop up it, but he decided not to at the last moment. So that was his way that way. Now he's heading back, and we've got some exciting news for all of you. The team team in FC have put together a little slow motion clip of when he came charging into the scene at the waterhole. A lot of you wouldn't have been able to actually see what happened, including all of us, and you're about to enjoy a little bit of a slow-mo reveal of what actually went down. So I hope you enjoy, and I wish I was also getting to watch. Can you believe what's just come running onto the scene? A leopard, and he's up. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed us, and let us know your thoughts, because we don't really do replays that much, and it's something we would like to try and do a little bit more often for you, especially in scenes like that, when unless you slow it down, no one will actually know what happened. So do let us know your thoughts about the action replays, and it sounded epic. Now he's veered south. I'm hoping he's just trying to find a little drink in this little muddy wallow. There's not much here for him to drink, but I'm guessing that could be his plans. And he is continuing towards us, so we should get some great views of him. Now, from what I understand, he did used to spend a lot of time in and around this area when he was a youngster, so he knows it very well. I love the way they sneak up quite stealthily when they head up onto termite mounds like this, just to make sure there's no prey opportunities nearby. And there sadly doesn't appear to be anything for him to snack on in the immediate vicinity, but that could change in a heartbeat. The vegetation here is so thick that often we don't know exactly what's happening in and around us. Now, what are your plans? And thanks for everyone's kind remarks regarding that clip. You've already started sending us back some feedback, and we are hugely thankful for that feedback, so thank you. And I guess that's what you get if you join along. If you're not here on these live safaris, then you miss out on the action. If you are, well then you're in pole position. So thanks for joining in, because it would be very lonely if it was just Senzo and I out here. It's not to say we wouldn't have a good time, we would just be a little bit lonely. Now his general movements are kind of tending to be in a southerly direction for now. Let's hope like he sticks to his kind of afternoon method, which has been backwards, forwards, north, south, east, west. He's been heading in every direction available at some point this afternoon, so he very easily could turn around and head back in an appropriate direction, just like he's doing now. Finally, time to rest. I think that's a good idea. I also need a bit of a breather after all of that. And while we reposition, we're going to send you off to some playful hippos with Noel.
We do indeed have some very playful hippos. They've been at it for a little while now, and just like yesterday afternoon, the youngest of the three is instigating everything, and Mum keeps getting up onto the little bank and chasing the other ones around, to the point where the mother of one of the other ones is also sort of interacting with her. They're having little domestics back and forth. And I was telling Ferg about a sighting that I had in Zambia, where a similar scenario to this was happening, but they had much less water to be in, and one of the mums ended up killing one of the babies. I don't think that's going to happen in this scenario. They've got enough space and enough water, but they were so overprotective and also stressed because of the lack of their main resource that it was putting a lot of pressure on all of the mums and involved in that little scenario. But these babies seem to be doing a good job of reassuring their mothers, as well as just getting themselves into the funniest of scenarios. Here we go again. Absolutely fantastic. And here she comes out again being protective. It's like Ring Around the Rosie for hippos. All right, well, we've been sitting here for a while and we've been watching the hippos, and we had that beautiful impala sighting. And I'm just with Hosana popping up and then sniffing around. I'm wondering if maybe Shadow is close to Scott and them there, because we had Kachava and Tingana, and I'm thinking, you know, since we've had so many leopards, it wouldn't be amiss to maybe have another one. It seems to be a leopard afternoon. I don't think that's too much to ask for at all. Quarantine was also seen just shortly after we found Tingana and Kachava, but he is on the Torchwood property, so that's another sighting that's been rallying about. And then this morning, I believe, the wild dogs made a quick run through Djuma area, and there was also some lion tracks that were found that came through, and then they moved sort of south and west away. So we missed some of the activity, although I don't know if we would have gotten it this morning because it happened very, very, very early, but it seems as if the afternoon's activity has been centered around myself and Scott on the property, which is absolutely fantastic for all of you. These hippos are too cute. And it's still warm, but it's cooling down a little bit, so... Sorry, Nikki. Did you say it doesn't look like they have teeth? Nikki, that's fantastic. Yeah, Nikki's saying they just look like they have just giant gums. Nikki, they'll start coming through now. If you notice with the two older ones, not the little one that looks like a pig, they're starting to get their tush through a little bit. And there comes Mum checking on everybody, and then of course the little ones are going underwater. Sorry, Nikki, your question's making me laugh so hard. Oh, it's a silly afternoon. It's because we had such good leopard luck. All right, everybody, don't disappear. Don't forget we are live and interactive, and we love to hear your questions and comments. So anything you want to send through, we're... Yes, she's so protective, hey? And that little one is just like, whatever, Mom, there I go. I'm gonna go play with my friend. She's not a happy chappy, that one. Pouty, you're saying what a brat to the little hippo. I'm agreeing with you. I think that's an astute observation for sure. Look at him chowing on the tail of that other one. And he's several months younger than that one that was in front there. He's really pushing his luck. Can we hear them moving in the water? I think maybe it's too far. Yeah, I think you're right, Nixon Ferg. I think it's a little bit too far and a little bit too windy, unfortunately. One day we'll get one of those sort of wireless boom mics, and we can put it up and hide it inside that buffalo weaver's nest at the top of that tree, and then Bluetooth the sound to our camera and to all of you. That I'm not big on technology, but that would be my technological request. Alright, let's head back over to Scott. I'm hoping he still has Hosana. We'll get a little bit more leopard love for the afternoon.
Yes, we are still with young Hosana, and he's just catching his breath. Who knows how long he'll want to relax in the shade here. What I've been thinking to myself is, how long has he been lurking back on Djuma without us having found him? I hope it hasn't been too long, because it would be terrible if we've been missing out on spending time with him. It's the first time that I think he's been seen on the property since I've been here. So close on a month now. He's spending a lot of time actually where Noel is hanging out at the moment around that water hole. He likes it over there. It's probably around 2 miles from here, almost directly to the east of us, slightly south. But I'm just, again, hugely grateful that we are sitting here with a beautiful young male leopard after all that chaos and excitement when he came charging into the scene at the treehouse waterhole. I cannot wait to watch that slow motion clip that all you guys got to have a peek at, to see actually what went down, because it was quite far away and it was just a cloud of dust and a whole lot of really fast movements when things did get exciting towards the end of that chase. You wonder how many times that poor family of warthogs have been terrified by a leopard. We know that sometime between yesterday and today, one of them was caught, sadly. Maybe by him, maybe by another leopard, who knows. Lions could have got a hold of it. It's quite sad that warthog mommy is abnormally relaxed with our presence, which means that her youngsters will probably also become relaxed, so we want as many of them to survive as possible. So Hosana, rather go and eat some impala. Something else. Leave those piggies alone. Now what's interesting here, I'm thinking of doing a little bit of an experiment to show you guys how easy it would be to drive past this leopard. Basically, if you, let me show you quickly, Sense, if you don't mind zooming out here quickly. And I can just show you with my hands what's kind of going on. Let me think of a good way to do this. Come here, Sense. So, let's just say that there's a road up ahead of us, which is this one, and then another one to the left of us, which is this one, and this little patch here is the mud wallow, you can say, that little speaker. And if we were to just zoom out a tiny bit so you can see both the roads, perfect, like that. If we were to drive along this road and this road, he's lying just to the side of this little wallow behind a bush. There is almost no chance that we would see him. And seeing as though he's sleeping, let's just do that quickly. I just want to show you guys how easy it is to drive past these animals. And I often wonder to myself, especially when we're driving around on the quieter days, how many animals have we driven past that are just lying a few meters off the road and we've got no idea that they're actually there. And this will be a very good example to show you guys how tricky it actually is. Okay, so we're back on the road. We're assuming we're just driving along normally. Is Hosana here today? Doesn't look like it to me. So he's directly behind that bush over there. Now zoom in, Senzo, even when Senzo zooms in fully. Can you see a leopard there? Nothing. But that's where he is. He's lying down right behind that bush, I think. Either way, you get the you kind of get the message, don't you? I mean, it's only 20 meters or so away. We'll go around onto the other side here now. This other road I was telling you about, still scanning. Nothing here. 1 second, I'm just going to stop up ahead. Is Liz, you worried I'm going to lose him now? Anything's possible. So here's the little mud wallow. Let's have a quick zoom in. All around behind there. Which bush was he behind? He was behind one of these bushes, but... Is it that one there, Sens? So,
this one.
It's behind one of these two bushes. But you kind of get the drift, guys. He is right here. It's only 20 meters away. And we've got no idea he's there. Well, we do, but we wouldn't ordinarily. Even though we know where to look and what to look for, we can't see him, and he's so close. Yes, Project Alpha, I'm very happy you've commented, because you've nailed it. You've said that is why tracking is so important, and you've got to keep your eyes down on the road, up in the trees, everywhere, all the time, otherwise you will miss things. It was. And even now that we're in position, before Senzo zooms in, we can hardly even tell where he is. But he's still lying there. We didn't lose him, so that's the good news. Ravenlock, you've mentioned Ninja Leopard, and a lot of you have also mentioned how crazy this guy's camouflage is, and yes, it certainly is. To be honest though, we could paint him bright pink, and just lying in the spot that he is now, I don't think we would have seen him due to the fact that there was just bushes in the way. But yes, I mean, the fact that they camouflage definitely doesn't help the matter. Mario, you ask a great question. You're wondering whether the female warthog would have managed to round up all of her piglets by now after all of that chaos. And I think she actually managed to do it quite quickly after the initial kind of attack. She seemed to be kind of trying to gather all of them before she headed off. I can't be certain that was the case. And I also am not certain whether she would have left a burrow. I'm sure she would have kind of tried to escape into a burrow. If she only had 2 of them with her, would she already come out after being scared like that? I'm not certain. And to be honest, I've very actually seldomly seen a leopard hunt warthog like that. Usually leopards and most predators will charge in, miss their prey, and then leave them. But it was very, very interesting to see how he was continuing to trail them for such a long distance. Yeah, I wonder. I'm kind of inclined to think that if one did get missing in the chaos, or go missing in the chaos, that she probably would have focused her attentions on just making sure whichever piglets did stay with her were safe, and of course herself, before coming out and searching for the missing individual. So that would be my guess. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just go and interview her now and ask her her thoughts on what just happened, her side of the story, also to hear what the piglets have to say. But sadly we're not going to have that joy. Annie, you mentioning how wonderful these vehicles are for being able to keep us in close to the action, following these animals off-road as they do their things. And yes, we are very, very lucky to have these vehicles, and I don't think I will be able to go back to a regular length game viewer in the Sabi Sands after being spoilt with these little things. They're like little go-karts. They can go just about anywhere. Certainly a lot more maneuverable than the longer wheel-based versions of them, which everyone else drives around. And it's the same long wheel version that Taylor and Rolf are driving around up in the Mara. But up in the Mara, as you guys are well aware, it's very, very easy to off-road as a general rule. It's wide open. Whereas here it is a lot more tricky. Oh, well, we've got some great news, everyone. We've got somebody who's just stumbled upon Safari Live. Jiro Kiko, I am so happy that you found us and that you give us the thumbs up. You say that you're going to continue to log in and keep watching the live safaris, and we urge you to, because there's a whole lot of magic that unfolds out here. And if you've just tuned in recently, it's important that you know that at the moment, we're in the Sabi Sands. I'm Scott. It's good to meet you. And I'm teamed up with Senzo on camera. And we've also got a crew up in the Masai Mara. So it's not just us here in South Africa in a beautiful reserve called the Sabi Sands. It's in the Kruger National Park, very large national park in South Africa, but also up in Kenya in the very well-renowned Masai Mara Reserve. So two very different ecosystems that you have the joy of being able to explore alongside with us. Good to have you with us, Jiro Kiko. Now, how much longer are you going to snooze? I wonder. Scarlett, you'd like to know what would happen if I stepped outside the vehicle. Well, with each individual leopard, it will be different, as a general rule. And with this individual in specific, because he had so much time spent with trackers finding him, as well as our live bushwalks, he has become incredibly habituated to people on foot. Now, it's not uncommon for young male leopards to be, and female leopards for that matter, be very relaxed with us as humans, and then as they become older they become a little less tolerant of us. I've noticed that with a few male leopards, and I'm guessing the same will happen with him, but maybe not. Maybe he will continue to be kind of oblivious to our presence on foot. So it all depends on how you do it. Scarlett, if I got out very slowly and quietly and then just went and sat down in front of the vehicle and he poked his head up, he would probably be quite relaxed. I've also heard of a few instances of him coming actually closer to people that have found him on foot. So let's say, hypothetically, we found him and he was 30 meters away and he was completely relaxed with our presence, so we sat down and started filming him, and I'm told this has actually happened, and then he just gets up and walks closer for a better view. So he is unique, though. Not all leopards will be this relaxed to people on foot. But Scarlett, we won't be doing that. There's no need to unnecessarily give him any reason to get nervous of us, so we'll save those moments for when we are on bushwalk or when we do find him whilst on foot tracking. Guys, I'm just going to give everyone an update on the Game Drive radio just to let people know that he's stationary in his position, because it's been quite a while since I've updated anyone. Stations Hosana is static on Shibam Treehouse Junction. Very good. We are going to sit tight. I'm not even sure how much longer is left of the safari, but we will not be going anywhere until it's over. But for you, you will be going somewhere. You will be heading back to Noel.
Scotty D, I hope Hosana stays on our side of the property so that we do get to stay with him for the next 20 minutes. Myself and Ferg are just sort of bumbling around, seeing what else we can find. And I got a little message from Tristan. He does think that Tandi's cub is a female. And then, as we were discussing the other day, I think it's a male. So the bet is on. So we need to ask Scotty D what he thinks. I don't think we should wait for Scotty D to see this cub again. I think he just needs to hop on the bandwagon, male or female. And he's not allowed to say in between, because that's little bet, and see what happens. All right, so as we're doing our loop, I'm also just having a listen out to see if anyone's still with Tingana. It sounds as if he's still completely flat there in the corner, and it sounds as if it's still a little bit busy. So I'll give the guys a little extra, and hopefully we'll get another glimpse of him. But if not, it was such an epic sighting with his little interaction with Kachava. I always enjoy watching predators interact with each other, especially when you're talking about the same species, because they lead lives that we can only sort of glimpse every now and then comment on. And it's always amazing when they do things that you know that they're going to do and what those signs mean, like smelling of the urine with the phlegm grimace, and her watching. She was literally there watching while Hosana was busy chasing warthogs, waiting for him to turn around completely and fall asleep, and and the minute he did that, she climbed down the tree and then went away. And he didn't even twitch an ear, so it goes to show you. And I'm also excited for the possibility of new little baby leopards in the next week or so. But we probably, let's say she gives birth within the next week, we'll probably only start seeing them in a few months. So hopefully by end of February, I think it is, sometime in Feb, but I'm pretty sure it's the end of Feb, we're going to be doing our binge series, TV series. So hopefully by then we'll have her around to be able to follow about and see what happens. That will be absolutely fantastic. Well, we didn't really get into the birding today. As I was driving around, I was checking, and a lot of the birds that we were seeing are birds that we do often. I'm looking for some new ones so that we can up everybody's bird list before 2018. I had a cesticula earlier that I believe was a red-faced cesticula, but we couldn't get it on camera, unfortunately, so we can't count that one. We'll have to wait and see about ones that we can catch on camera for you. And James Richard, if you're watching, I'm still looking for that Colossus. Joy in Hong Kong, interesting. You're saying with Tiny's cub, you hope it's a female, but you think it's a male. All right, I'll take that. And now my question for you, Joy, is are you hoping it's a female because you want her to stick around because the males tend to move off out of the territory? Because that's where I think you might have been going with that, so that we can keep our characters going on the show. Although, as you've seen with Hosana and Tumba, they're sticking around because of the fact that Mvula and Tingana are getting a little bit older. So the guys have come through and graded the road, so a lot of the tracks I'm looking for are no longer here, but that's okay. Maybe something, it's cooled down quite a bit, even though it's still lovely and sunny. So hopefully something has come out and about and is poking its head around so that we can maybe find it. We also haven't seen zebra in a while. Zebra would be nice to see. Or a diker. We haven't seen a diker on camera in a while. Jiro Kiko, we're so happy that you found us today. We hope you keep watching, and your grandmother's perfectly right. Phone's away at the table, but then you can always go back onto YouTube after you're done with dinner and just type in sunrise or sunset safari with any of the dates, and we'll pop up, and you can binge watch us for a bit and then always join us tomorrow morning. We would love to have you keep coming back again and again and be one of our regulars, as I'm sure the rest of our regular viewers would like as well. We're going to go through a little bit of a signal dip just here, so just hold on. I'm just going to stay quiet for a second so we don't have any breakup. All right, we should be good. Yay, new viewers! We love it. We absolutely love it. We had an interesting chat with some viewers the other day, and South African viewers, and they were saying how they know all about us, but many of their South African counterparts don't know about us. And Scott and I were chatting sort of about ways to get the word out. And honestly, I actually love the way that we grow. It's so organic. It's very grassroots. It's word of mouth, and compared to sort of where we started and where we are now, it's absolutely fantastic. So more people will keep coming, of course, and if we keep getting these crazy leopard sightings, of course they'll keep coming. Sorry, Nikki. Ooh. James Richard, thanks so much for the update. You're saying, and I'm guessing you're picking this up from one of the other lodges that is out and about, you're saying that Tingana stole a kill from Kachava and has been pestering her all day. Fantastic. Thank you for that information. I have a feeling that that kill is probably in the drainage line where Kachava went down, but we unfortunately can't go down there and have a look. Hello, everyone. How are you? That was the owners of Chitwa who are nice enough to let us traverse. Nelia, you're curious to know if I've had any updates of Mvula. I'm sorry, I can't talk. I need some water. No, not recently. I haven't heard anything on Mvula recently. The last update, the last time I saw Mvula was when we had that crazy, hectic wild dog sighting where he busted out of the trees. No one knew he was there, and we were so lucky that VM's camera work was quick enough to catch everything that we could all possibly see. And then after that, I had some tracks of him heading sort of Biffle's Hook side, so our northern boundary. But since then, I really haven't heard much that I can think of. But I was also on leave for about a week, so I don't know if Scotty D heard anything whilst I was on leave. We can ask him when we head back. Then James Richard, I was actually going to ask, sorry now, before I saw Charl and them, did you find out what she killed? Because we were thinking maybe impala, as it tends to be in this area. And I also have a feeling that where we saw him yesterday evening, remember how fat he was, that possibly had something to do with those kills as well. But, I mean, that's all just postulating. Lots of elephant tracks, but nothing really around. Jimson, you're asking where the Steenbok are? Actually, today I haven't seen a single Steenbok, so I honestly don't know where they are. I'm sure they're around, just maybe too many leopards for their liking. All right, while we're busy waiting to see if we can get another view of Tingana, I think maybe let's go and have a look for Scotty D and see what he's up to.
Yeah, still just sitting here patiently with young Hosana. He hasn't really flinched other than his ear that twitches from time to time to chase off some flies. Other than that, there we go. Other than that, there hasn't been any movement. And no real updates on Mvula, Nelia. I know you're discussing that with Noel. I haven't heard his name on the radio for at least a week. So yeah, no updates on Mvula. Every time I head up to Buffalo's Hook Dam, I hope I'm going to see him there. And lots of pleasant memories with that leopard, especially in and around the Buffalo's Hook Dam. But no joy just yet. I'm sure our luck will turn at some point and we'll get to see him. It's been a long time since I've laid eyes on him, and I can't wait to see how he's kind of looking now compared to how I remember him. Eugene, you're interested to know if the leopards will actually know individual humans are on a vehicle, or do they assume us to be one big human? No, they can definitely tell that we are individuals. They know very well what eye contact is. They can tell that we are all our individual beings with our own two sets of eyes, all moving independently. So yes, I'm very, very confident that that is the fact. I think sometimes guides kind of will say in their opening speech when you first arrive to go on your first safari, the guides will give you a kind of safety briefing and the do's and the don'ts. And one of the things they'll say is they ask you to remain seated, not to stand up, because that will break the silhouettes of the vehicle, which is one kind of uniform body. And I think maybe that's where the confusion possibly comes in. It's just so that, you know, people don't stand up and, you know, give the animal a fright for obvious reasons, because all of a sudden you're much taller than them, and it's the sudden movements more than the fact that you're actually standing up. If you all drove into the sighting standing up, it would be fine. It's that movement that may scare an animal if it's very close by. So yeah, they definitely can tell, you know, tell that there's multiple people on vehicles, in my opinion. I wonder how much they can, you know, distinguish between us as individuals. You know, like this leopard, for example, he's grown up spending a lot of time with Safari Life presenters and cameramen, and will he be able to distinguish one from the other? I wonder. Not convinced, but possibly. You know, their senses are so much better than ours, so their hearing is very acute, their smell is very acute. Maybe, you know, they can smell that we are different or hear that we are different. Who knows? I personally haven't noticed any kind of leopards behaving differently to me as an individual. I think they just see us all as humans, just like a lot of us will see them as leopards. And it's also difficult for us to distinguish one leopard from another because we're not the same species as them. So, except for some of you who have become wizards at identifying the leopards, I haven't become a wizard yet, and love all your help that you provide us with. So yeah, I mean, I think, Heather Lily, you'd like to know if I get sleepy sitting with a flat cat. Well, as a general rule, yes, it's very boring. But in a situation like this, after so much excitement and all the, you know, adrenaline from him coming onto the scene with us having no idea that he was around, chasing those warthogs, following him, to spend half an hour with him sleeping as the sun begins to set is actually quite a relief. It's when it starts becoming the hotter hours of the day and hours on end that it starts becoming a bit tedious. But right now, I'm not sleepy at all. I guess it depends on the day. He still is sleepy though, as you will see. Just that ear twitching from time to time to chase off the flies. I wish I could twitch my ear like that. Andrew, you wondering if Tingana was on that scene earlier instead of Hosana? Would he have gone for the sow and not the piglets? I'm inclined to say no, he would have still gone for the piglets, because it's just the easiest option as a general rule. So most predators would rather bank the easiest option, even if it's small, rather than taking on a bigger, trickier target. Also bear in mind that warthogs are dangerous. I mean, you know, they've got very sharp tusks. Not to say that Tingana can't handle a sow, fully grown sow. He definitely will be able to. But, you know, he's going to factor into the back of his mind there that there's definitely more risk involved. And I think all of the predators know that there's risk involved when they start hunting certain prey, be it lions hunting buffalo and or leopards hunting warthogs. But yeah, I mean, I guess the only way to know for certain is if we get to follow Tingana hunting warthogs in a similar situation. And who knows, we are going to be heading across to Tingana now. Let's hope some warthog and piglets pop onto the scene, and then we'll know exactly what would happen.
I don't know, Scotty D. He's so fat, who knows if he'd go for them, but I think he'd go for the piglets. They're easier and they're tasty little morsels, and you can eat one and then carry on and grab some more. So we had a little bit of a sunset there. It's only really going to be sunset in the next sort of half an hour or so, but Ferg and I were hoping just to show you a little bit of the African ambiance, how absolutely fantastic. And here is Tingana. Same spot, doing same thing. Still no visual on Kachava. She's obviously gone to where down that little drainage line wherever her little kill is, or it's probably actually a big kill now that I say that as both of them are quite full. And she's probably snacking away nicely while he sleeps over here. He barely even raised his head when we drove up. He rolled from one side to the other just before we came in. But this has pretty much been his stance. Now, it is cool enough that he should be moving about, but I think especially earlier in the drive when he was chasing Kachava around, he used up too much energy in that heat. Tootie Beth, you're saying thank you. Today's drive was absolutely fantastic to all of us. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We love hearing how much you all love the show. It means a lot to us. it's also fun for us as well when we get these many leopards. Ferg and I were actually sitting here and we had Kachava and Tingana, and we knew that Scott was busy looking for Tundi, and I was thinking in my head, oh, please find a leopard, and he did, and he got Hosana. So it's also for us, it's nice when each other gets good content, and it's also nice that when we get such excellent content through all of the streams that are out for all of you as well.
See his breath on the grass.
Chrissy, you're curious if when the leopards, say, we'll use that one for now since we're looking at a leopard, are trying for the sow, that maybe their skin's a little bit tougher, say like an older wildebeest, and so therefore then the predator will go for the piglets. Chrissy, I am going to say that they are probably a little bit tougher, also tougher in the fact that they're harder to catch. I mean, a warthog that does not want to be caught can really do some damage to any predator that's around. So that's another reason to go for the piglets. When it comes to something like the wildebeest, it's just that those baby wildebeest, especially for a leopard, are more in their size range and then also easier to catch because there's so many of them and they go into a panic. For something like a lion, yeah, they definitely love a baby wildebeest because it's a quick little snack, especially if they're pregnant. But remember, I mean, if you're a large pride of lions, you're still going to go for the larger parts. I've also seen prides of lions where they go for wildebeest and they'll catch adult wildebeest as well as a couple of young ones. And if there's any smaller lions around, the smaller ones will sort of learn how to hunt on those baby wildebeest. So I think definitely what you're saying plays a part in all of it as well. Oh, thanks, Tingana. So Tingana's breathing is rustling a bit of the bottom grass there, and then our wind's picking up. Hopefully going to chase these flies away from him that seem to be bothering him a little bit. And oh, there we go. There's your cat roll and stretch for the day. And a big sigh. So I think from this beautiful big male spotted leopard, we're going to head back over to Scotty D and his beautiful male leopard and see what Hosana's up to in the last little bit of golden light here in the African bush.
Yes, well, how lucky are we that we are sitting with two leopards, one the father and one the son. And it's great to see Hosana again. I'm sure a lot of you are very happy that we got lucky and found him, because I'm not sure how long it had been since some of you had last seen him, but certainly the first time I've got to spend some quality time with him, and it was wonderful to have you along with for the action. Let's take a look at him for the last few moments of the safari. A massive, massive thank you for everyone that joined in, of course, and well done to the team of FC girls, both up in the Mara and down here in South Africa. They take turns, as they are two different directors for both shows these days, as well as all the cameramen, especially Senzo for capturing the high-speed chase of the warthogs. Be sure to tune in to the next safari. We're already looking forward to it. We'll see you then.